Hello everybody, Mr. Politics here. Welcome to another video. How much longer can Rachel Reeves last as Chancellor? Well, it looks like the clock is ticking on Rachel Reeves as Chancellor. It doesn't look like she's going to last much longer. Sooner or later, Keir Starmer has got to have to pull her out of her misery, because the way she's angling the economy at the moment is absolutely ridiculous. She's everything she does, it goes wrong. She's trashed the economy, and she's only been Chancellor for 6 months. That's got to be some kind of record for some Chancellor who, the other Chancellors we've had, they've never done this kind of thing. Well, except for Kwasi Kwarteng, who was Liz Truss's Chancellor when he had to resign, and she had to resign as well. But before, the other Chancellors before them, they've never done this kind of thing within a 6 month time scale. I mean, this is what Labour do. Every time we get a Labour government, they just spend money like there's no tomorrow, willy-nilly. They just love to spend other people's money, like Margaret Thatcher said once. She said exactly the same thing about Labour, the socialists. They just spend people money like there's no tomorrow. And this is what's happening now with this government. I mean, I don't know about Rachel Reeves' time up as Chancellor. I should think Starmer's time's up as Prime Minister. We've got a bunch of clowns running the country in government who don't know what they're doing. They haven't got a clue. I mean, all they keep on about is blaming the Tories for 14 years of failure, but let's put it this way. The Tories never did this in their first 6 months when they was in government. This has got to be some kind of record for a government that's only been governing the country for 6 months. It's got to be some kind of record. I mean, I bet people who voted for Labour at the election wish they never bothered now. It's like I've said in my previous videos about Labour, they lied to the voters about what they was going to do. They said they was going to do this and do that, but they broke their election promises when they won the election. In other words, they just lied to the voters and to the country about what they was going to do just to get in, much like Blair did. But going back to Rachel Wrecking Ball Reeves, I mean, does she have any idea what it is to run the country's finances? I don't think she does. She's an amateur. It looks like she must be having sleepless nights, I think, from what we could see of her last week in Parliament last week. She looked like she's not getting any sleep. And of course she's just been to China and trying to get a trade deal with them, but I think that's been a complete failure. I'm afraid we in the UK, we don't no other countries take us seriously anymore. I mean, what must other countries think when they see this, the way Britain is going, being governed by a bunch of useless idiots? What must they think? I mean, apparently she's having a meeting with the banks, I think. I don't know. She's having a meeting with somebody, and she's got into panic mode. She's, I mean, we had Starmer saying that they're going to be ruthless with the cuts that's on the way. That means that there's going to be more tax rises through this sometime this year, because this government's gone into panic mode. They've lost the plot. They don't know what they're doing. And, you know, I mean, Rishi Sunak did warn us what was going to happen. I know he was useless as Prime Minister, but he did warn us that if you vote Labour, this is what's going to happen. And it's happening. The way it's going, it looks like we're going to be bankrupt. I mean, you've got Starmer, he gave his speech, tried to give a speech this morning about artificial intelligence. And, of course, after his speech, the reporters asked him about what was the economy, whether or not he thought that Rachel Reeves was the right one for the job as Chancellor, or he would sack her. He didn't say, did he? He just danced around the question. He just danced around the question. I mean, you know what he is? He's just a bag of wind. He's Starmer. He couldn't answer a question if he tried. Yes, I don't, I mean, but forgive my language, but as Starmer got the balls to sack Reeves, has he? We shall see whether or not he will or not, whether he can bring himself to sack her. I mean, who's he got to replace her with? Who's he got? I mean, you got, the few names have been mentioned. You've got West Streeting, the Health Secretary, and you've got useless Yvette Cooper, she's been mentioned, and there's one or two others, but I can't see who going to replace her if he sacks her. I mean, he's involved in another corruption scandal, and a Treasury Minister. Is it Tulip Sadiq, I think, or whatever her name is? What a name, Tulip. If you do you remember? I don't think. Suppose you, a lot who were watching this video, remember the song "Tiptoe Through the Tulips." That was a song many years ago. I think in the 60s. I think in the 60s. But what a name, Tulip. What a their family's involved in corruption. More headaches for Starmer. Mind you, we're not bothered about him, are we? He can have all the headaches he wants. I mean, if anybody ought to resign, it ought to be him. I mean, like I said, he gave his speech this morning about artificial intelligence. I mean, why don't we replace him with an artificial intelligence? An artificial intelligence. Replace him and his cabinet with them. They make a better job than these idiots we've got now. Well, anyway, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.